Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining my presentation. Today I have some discussion about culture. So let's start it about culture shock. So the first we have discussion about definition of culture shock. Culture shock refers to the sense of discomfort or disorientation experience when someone enters an unfamiliar environment. The excitement of arriving in a new country may fade as everyday situation challenge, belief, habits, and expectations that were once taken for granted. It is a natural stage of culture adaptation where individuals may feel like stress, frustration, homesick before they are able to adjust and function comfortably in a new environment. So now we have discussion about originate word of culture shock. The term culture shock introduced by Carl Vera Oberg. He is a Canadian anthropologist in 1954. It described mixed and often conflicting emotion people experience when leaving their home or on culture environment and adjusting in a new one, such as when you are working or studying in a new country. So why culture shock is happening? Moving a new city, region, or country can be exciting for the first, but it can also be challenging, especially when the culture very different. Unfamiliar language, clothing, food, and climate can make adjustment difficult and lead to culture shock. So now let's talk about indicator of culture shock. I have some symptoms that produced by culture shock. For the first, like being homesick, feeling helpless, feeling isolated, disorientation, lack of concentration, irritability, sadness, sleep or eat disturbance, and the last one is about paranoia. So now let's talk about 4 stages from excitement to acceptance. For the first, honeymoon state, when you first arrive in the new city, you often feel like enthusiastic and positive. Everything it will be fine for you because you are in a new environment. But after that, become frustration state. After some time, cultural differences may be stressful instead of interesting. This stage, known as a culture shock, because bring feelings like homesick, frustration, or self-doubt. It is normal and you takes time to adjust. Next stage about adjustment state. Over time, with positive adjustment, you will start to feel comfortable in a new environment. You will begin to appreciate the benefits in the new cultures because you are international or foreign peoples, and then understand the host culture does things differently from your own. And the last one is about acceptance stage. It means that you in the new place will start to feel like your home. As you adjust, you will be able to fully enjoy your experience from meaningful relationship and develop a sense of self. Let me show you the example of culture shock. Culture shock can cause physical problems such as stomach pain, fatigue, headache, and skin issues. People often experience communication difficulty, especially when they do not know about the local language. Even with good language skill, nonverbal communication differences can be challenging. Example of culture differences include when and how to bargain, table manners, what it means to be on time, how assertive someone can be while staying polite. The second example, individual experiencing in culture shock may feel isolated, anxious, lonely, confused, and excluded, based on Ayub et al. 2019, Mars 2012, Jan and Berliner 2011. Living a new culture can evoke a present sense or identity and belonging, Funham 2010. Culture shock can also cause strong emotional reaction such as anger, impatience, exhaustion, feeling rejected. Second topic is about nonverbal communication. So let's start it from definition of nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is the way we share messages without words, such as through facial expression, gesture, eye contact, and body language. These signals reflect who we are and influence how we connect each other. Nonverbal communication is more than an addition to words, it plays a major role in how we communicate. Research suggests that up 80% of communication come from action and gesture, while only 2000 relies on words. It is based on Mehrabian. Type of communication. First, facial expression are highly expressive and often universal, showing emotion like happiness, sadness, anger, or fear without word. Body movement or posture, such as how we sit, stand, or walk, also communicate important message about our feelings or attitude. Gestures are a natural part of everyday communication, such as waving, pointing, or using our hand while speaking. Eye contact is a key form of nonverbal communication. The way we look at others can show interest, affection, or discomfort, and it helps maintain conversation and understand the other person's response. Touch is another powerful form of nonverbal communication. Different types of touch, such as handshake, hug, or pet, can convey very different messages and emotion. Personal space is a form of nonverbal communication. Distance can show comfort, intimacy, or dominance, and varies by culture and situation. The last one, types of nonverbal communication, is a voice. Is an important part of nonverbal communication. Tone, volume, pitch, or inflection affect how messages are understood and can express emotion like sarcasm, anger, affection, fear, or confidence. Let me show you the example of nonverbal communication. First, we know about smile. When someone smiles, people usually smile back automatically. This happens even if the smile is not genuine. People often copy facial expression without realizing it, based on Peace 2004. Smiling is an important part of body language, especially in a workplace or business. A smile helps create a positive vibes or atmosphere. Smile can influence how others feel and respond. The second example, according to Nur Afzaliza Nazira Ibrahim et al., nonverbal communication plays an important role in customer interaction. When answering customer, we do not only speak, we also use eye contact, hand movement, and body position. This nonverbal signal helps show meaning, attention, and attitude even without words. Nonverbal communication still involves interaction and interpretation between people. Let's move to part 2. In part 2, we have two problems and then one summarize that we have to explain and also solve. So let's start it from case 1. Case 1. In many communities, there is common stereotype that Chinese people are naturally good at mathematics, business, and are likely on shop or run commercial activities. However, this stereotype doesn't always reflect reality. In this case, Chen Chen, who comes from Chinese Indonesia Peranakan family, struggles with number and does not excel in mathematics. She also has no interest in business and does not plan to own a shop. Despite this, people around her often assume she should be good at counting or managing money simply because of her ethnic background. Question number 1. What type of the stereotype is presented in this case? The stereotype in this case is general belief about ethnic Chinese people. It is called model minority stereotype, which assumes that Chinese people are naturally good at mathematics, academics, and business. This stereotype is considered a positive stereotype because it describes the group with a good abilities. However, it is also a general cultural assumption because it applies this trait to everyone in, in this group without considering individual differences. The reason is, although it sounds positive, it oversimplifies people and ignores the fact that not everyone has the same skills or interests. Question number 2. What are the negative impact of this stereotype on Chen Chen? This stereotype causes several negative effects for Chen Chen. First, about emotional impact. She may feel stress, pressure, or anxious because others expect her to be good at math and business. Social impact. People may judge her about her ethnic, not her personality, making her feel labeled or misunderstood. About academic impact, high expectation can reduce her confidence and affect her academic performance if she feels she must meet those expectations. Cultural impact, her personal identity is ignored and she is seen only as a part of a group, which can make her feel uncomfortable or excluded. Question number 3. Are there any positive impact of this stereotype? Explain your answer. There may be limited positive impacts, such as people initially assuming Chen Chen's capable and intelligent. However, these benefits are superficial and conditional. Overall, the stereotype is harmful because it creates unrealistic expectation and pressure her to conform to an image that does not reflect who she truly is. The last question for problem 1, what specific stereotype is highlighted in this case? The specific stereotype highlighted is the model minority stereotype, which is assumed that people of Chinese or Asian descent are naturally good at mathematics, academically successful, and likely to excel in business. This stereotype influences how people perceive Chen Chen by shaping expectations about her abilities based on her ethnic rather than individual quality. Next point about summarizes the native speaker Aaron Fox. Language and communication are not the same. Understanding word does not only always mean understanding the message because cultural effect and how people interpret meaning. The presentation explains direct and indirect communication styles. Direct communication focuses on being clear, open, and honest, while indirect communication emphasizes politeness, respect, and harmony. It also shows that many communication problems come from cultural differences, not poor language skill. The same words, gesture, and silence can have different meaning in different cultures. Having cultural awareness helps reduce misunderstanding and improve cooperation and teamwork. So now let's talk about problem 2. Amran, an Indonesian student, feels confused when an American friend greets him by raising hand with the fingers spread open. In Indonesia, this gesture is commonly understood as a signal to stop. However, in the United States, the same gesture is often used as a casual way to say hello or wave. This misunderstanding makes Amran unsure how to respond and he begins to feel uncomfortable in social interaction. He worries that he might appear rude if he reacts the wrong way or that maybe misinterpret other gesture in the future. Question number 1 for this part. How does the situation show that body language and can lead to culture shock? The situation shows that body language can lead to culture shock because the same gesture can have different meaning in different cultures. Amran experiences confusion when his American friend raises a hand with the fingers spread because in Indonesia this gesture usually means stop. Seeing a familiar gesture used in an unfamiliar way makes Amran feel uncertain and uncomfortable. This confusion is a common sign of culture shock, especially when nonverbal communication doesn't match one culture expectation. Next question, what cultural factors influence the meaning of body language in this case? The meaning of body language in this case is influenced by cultural norms and social habit. In Indonesia, certain hand gestures are more directive and formal, while in United States, waving in an open hand is casual and friendly greeting. People learn the meaning of gesture through their cultural environment, so Amran interpret the gesture based on Indonesian norms, while his American friends uses it according to American cultural practices. Question number 3, what negative effect might this misunderstanding have on Amran's interaction with others? This misunderstanding may have several negative effects on Amran. He may feel embarrassed if he responds incorrectly. He may experience anxiety about misinterpreting other gestures in the future. It can cause miscommunication where friendly actions are misunderstood. He may become socially hesitant, avoiding interaction to prevent mistake. This effect can make it harder for Amran to feel comfortable and confident in social situations. The last question for part 2, what problem-solving strategies can help Amran handle this situation? Amran can use several strategies to handle this situation effectively. For the first, asking politely for clarification when he does not understand a gesture. Observing how local people communicate, including their gesture and reaction. Learning common American body language to reduce confusion. Developing cultural awareness, understanding that differences in communication are normal and not personal. These strategies can help Amran reduce misunderstanding and communicate more confidently in new cultural environment. Thank you so much for joining my presentation and see you on next video. Bye-bye.